My name is Sarah, and I lived a simple life in a small town. I was married to Imran for 6 years. He was a good man, kind and honest, but our life felt very quiet. Every day was the same. He went to work early in the morning and came home late in the evening. We ate dinner, watched television, and slept. There were no deep talks anymore. No laughter like before. I often felt alone even when he was sitting beside me. I did not hate my husband. That made my feelings more confusing. I only felt empty. I wanted a different life. I wanted to feel seen and heard again. Sometimes I looked out of the window and imagined another version of myself. In that life, I smiled more. I felt alive. One day, a new manager joined my office. His name was Adil. He spoke politely and listened carefully when people talked. When I shared an idea in a meeting, he nodded and smiled. That small moment stayed in my mind all day. It had been a long time since someone noticed me like that. Slowly, we started talking more at work. First about projects, then about books, then about life. He asked me questions and waited for my answers. I felt important again. I knew I was married, and I knew this feeling was dangerous, but I did not stop it. At home, Imran talked about bills and work problems. I tried to listen, but my heart was somewhere else. I felt guilty, but I also felt excited. This was the beginning of my secret. Every night, I told myself it was harmless. We are just talking, I said. But deep inside, I knew the truth. I was already choosing another life in my heart. As weeks passed, my connection with Adil became stronger. We started sharing personal stories. He talked about his loneliness, and I talked about my quiet marriage. I never spoke badly about Imran, but I did not defend my marriage either. That silence became my first betrayal. One evening, Adil sent me a message after work. It was simple, but it made my heart race. I replied. Then he replied again. Soon we were messaging every night. I hid my phone when Imran entered the room. I smiled at my screen and felt ashamed at the same time. I knew I was crossing a line, but I did not stop. I told myself that I deserved happiness. I told myself that Imran did not understand me. These thoughts made my actions feel right, even when they were wrong. One rainy evening, Adil asked me to meet him for coffee. I hesitated, but I agreed. We sat across from each other in a quiet cafe. Our hands almost touched. No one said anything, but everything was clear. When I returned home, I looked at my husband and felt a heavy pain in my chest. That night, I could not sleep. I realized that I wanted 2 lives, but I could only live one. My heart was full of confusion. I wanted change, but I feared the cost. One evening, Imran noticed my phone light up again and again. He did not shout. He only asked, "Are you happy with me?" His calm voice hurt more than anger. I could not lie anymore. Tears filled my eyes as I told him the truth. Not every detail, but enough. The silence that followed was heavy. Imran listened without interrupting. When I finished, he stood up and walked away. For days, we barely spoke. The house felt cold. I realized how much damage I had caused. My dream of a different life now looked selfish and small. Adil stopped messaging me when he heard I had told my husband. I was alone with my choices. That was when I understood that excitement fades, but trust breaks deeply. Imran and I started talking slowly again. Not about fixing everything, but about understanding. I apologized without excuses. I accepted my mistakes. I learned that wanting a different life does not mean hurting others. Change requires honesty, not secrets. Whether a relationship survives or not, truth must come first. I no longer dream of another version of myself. I work on the life I chose. Some days are still quiet, but now they are honest. That is the life I wanted, even if I learned it too late.